Thank you, Mr. Alok Bansal, for joining us for this edition of Logistics Shakti Podcast. It's a pleasure to welcome you for this podcast, and it's a pleasure to welcome you for the Logistics Shakti event
Thank you
here
so much.
in Delhi. Thank you for the support which you have given to Logistics Shakti over the last two editions.
Mm.
Thank you so much. Given your extensive experience in the infrastructure building for the logistics industry, we would like to learn from you and hear from you as to what are the changes that has happened over the last 10 or 15 years in this industry.
So, sir, I started my journey in logistics from automobile background. So, I worked in Germany and I was working on the technologies what can bring revolution in terms of warehousing, in terms of manufacturing, and other manufacturing. And then when I came back to India, then I started working with delivery, DTDC. So, got to know this landscape of warehousing, typically B2B, and then the journey where we are moving from building typical storerooms to godowns to warehouses and then fulfillment centers. So delivery was the pioneer in bringing fulfillment in India. All
So,
technology based, new modern age warehouses. And I'm glad to say that at that time I joined delivery, so I learned complete B2C warehousing. And delivery pushed other logistic companies to build that infrastructure ecosystem, and they pushed all the veterans in logistics to have IT and to have speed.
yeah,
So this shift is in India from last 10 to 15 years, where we are seeing the growth of IT, tracking, mobile app is coming, web applications are coming. Now we are from last 1 year we are talking about AI and IoTs.
yeah,
So I would say this growth was needed. This is very enticing, very important, and the way AI is growing, I am a huge fan of AI.
okay,
So I think what logistic needed the ingredients, now it is coming up, and very soon we will be at the driving seat of the logistics. Yeah, warehousing will be the top-notch infrastructure because it is the most common infrastructure because it drives other parts. Whether we talk about first mile or mid mile, so warehousing holds a very important part,
mm,
and it is growing at a tremendous speed. And I think in your coming questions, I will cover what we are doing and what other companies are doing in terms of technology and bringing more automation into it.
yeah, sure. That's wonderful. So I have one question to you, which is basically comparing with your European experience vis-a-vis the Indian experience.
Mm.
How has that panned out? Because you had extensive experience in Europe, then you came down to India trying to do. I'm sure some of the best practices there and implementing there. So what is that? What has been the challenges? What has been the most exciting things which you have?
So my personal take is, there are a lot of gaps in India and in other developed nations. Not even in Europe, but in China also. And I think that is the motivational driving factor, what drove me also.
Mm.
Because when there's gap, there's opportunity. So in India, logistic causes, 13 to 14% of the GDP. In Europe, it is 7% only. When we talk about Europe or China, they talk about million square feet. We still talk about, 1 lakh square feet, 2 lakh square feet in India, and we boast about.
Mm.
So there's a lot of difference between automation and, adoption of automation in those countries. If I talk about 8 years back, 10 years back, in 2012, when I was working there in Mercedes-Benz, the 90% car was manufactured by robots. Everywhere in all the production facilities, robots were there. In India, still, yes, couple of automobile companies have adopted this, but most of the manufacturing are still not having the 100% automation or robots. In fact, if we talk about logistic and warehouses, clients want everything, but they're not ready to pay to logistic companies, so they cannot deploy robots. Yes,
Yeah.
we talk about different technologies, newer technologies, but the hard reality is client is not ready to pay until unless it is their own manufacturing facility or own automobile facility. They're not ready to pay. But in the same time, that intelligence and that sense is coming day on day, month on month, that we need automation, we need upgradation of infrastructure, we need better facilities because in coming time, you cannot expand horizontally, you can only expand vertically. So you need to be thoughtful about revenue per square feet, but at the same time, you need to think about speed per square feet.
Mm.
So it is new dimension which is coming out.
Coming up.
And let's not talk about only revenue per square feet or cost per square feet. We should think about the speed per square feet and whatever facility, be it traditional warehouse or new modernized warehouse or dark stores, if it is meeting the speed, it is doing your work.
Okay. That's a very interesting talk about the change basically because speed per square feet is something which we do not really calculate.
Correct.
And as you rightly said, probably all of us should be worried about that metric than any other metric, because speed is going to drive the revenue as well as the cost,
Correct.
basically, right? So that's a wonderful take on that. Sir, I have one question to ask you specifically. Suppose you are in a position to make one single policy change which can positively impact the warehousing and logistics ecosystem. What would be that change which you would like to implement?
Sir, I don't know what exactly, but if I have gut feeling or the experience or the things which you go through, I still see there's no transparency and parity in terms of acquisition of a facility,
Hmm.
getting the compliances,
Okay.
and making or having the CLU for the lands.
Hmm.
It is still state dependence. Lot of state dependence is there. Clarity is not there in the fees. There's no state fees, no state information. So I would be a policymaker. I would make a one policy for all the warehousing in India. Whenever you want to purchase a land, so you can easily convert agricultural land into industrial use or into warehousing use within 3 months of time. So 90 days should be a timeline defined for any company to decide, because it is a cost. Taking a facility is cost, converting it is a cost, building it is a cost, running it is a cost. The more it takes the time, the more cost has to be incurred.
Hmm.
So one policy, 90 days timeline, conversion should be there.
Okay.
And second policy, rate is fixed. So central government has to take state government along with them. They should make a refined policy, and it will help a lot because it will directly increase the FDI, which is really a bloodline in India. The more FDI it
I
will
know.
take, the more growth it will have.
Yes.
So this is the thing I would say. And I think
Okay.
a lot of logistics and warehousing people will thank me if this policy will come into the picture.
Very interesting. As you know, no, land and land acquisition, sale and purchase is basically a state subject, and it's not a concurrent. It's not even in the concurrent list of the this thing. So your ask or your vision is highly ambitious, but then it's a very interesting vision to have.
Correct, correct.
So what would be your message uh, from the Logistics Shakti platform to our ecosystem as to what is that we should change and what is that we should implement?
So I would say from this Logistics Shakti platform that first of all it is a great platform because it is getting the ecosystem on the same page under the same roof. People from all over are coming, representing different industries, different working areas, different working capabilities. But I would send one message to everybody that time to play more in a way of togetherness, more in the ecosystem. We talk about ecosystem collaboration, but there are very less companies, or there are less people who do real collaborations.
Mm.
So from the theoretical point of view, it should more be on to the practical point of view, where we have not seen much examples that four companies have come together, they've started something. Three companies have come together, they started something.
Mm.
Five companies have come together, they started something.
Mm.
That innovation is not happening. So where is the collaboration? One-on-one tie-ups are not collaboration.
That's true. Okay.
So we have to think about the collaboration where a uniformity is there. Everybody knows what they're going to earn, and it should be divided transparently,
Okay.
so that service provider, end customer, middle guy, technology guy, everybody should be benefiting from this partnership and collaboration.
Oh.
So I think the people who are coming on such platforms, wonderful platform, they should not only do networking, they should make something, I should say, useful group which can deliver useful results and which can bring value to everyone.
I want to thank you very much for your very valuable time to talk about in this podcast of Logistics Shakti.
Thank you so
And
much, sir.
wishing you and your team in Build My Infra a wonderful time, a beautiful time, a very productive and prosperous time in the days to come. Because I think there is a huge growth opportunity for all of us to make that decision.
Indeed.
Right?
Thank you so much for your time.
My pleasure.